Hello guys, this is going to be the start of me trying to knock out a bunch of videos before the end of the year. I've got quite a few videos lined up for the next few weeks, namely my final Wrestle Kingdom review, that should be up sometime tomorrow. A review of The Last Jedi, that'll be happening sometime this weekend. I'll be getting reviews for Clash of Champions and Final Battle. There'll be a preview for Wrestle Kingdom 12 in there somewhere, and my last Star Wars book review, which will be Hand of Thrawn. That'll be coming. I should have all that done, hopefully, by the end of next week, and then I can take the rest of the year off for making videos, and hopefully you all enjoy them, but this video right here is going to be strictly previews. I'm going to be previewing WWE Clash of Champions, WWE's final pay-per-view of 2017, and Ring of Honor Final Battle 2017, and what the hell, I'll preview Star Wars The Last Jedi as well. It's already had its big premiere. It hasn't hit, nationwide theaters yet, but we are getting some early reactions to it, and I do want to talk about it a little bit, but I'll save that for the end. I know that most of you guys are here for the wrestling, so let's talk about that. So, preview and predictions for Clash of Champions 2017, which appears to be a Smackdown pay-per-view based on the card that I'm looking at. That tells you how closely I've been following the main roster product. Anyway, let's start with the bottom and work our way up. Okay, we've got a tag team match, Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, with Shane McMahon as the special guest referee, and if Owens and Zayn lose, they will be fired from the WWE. This reeks of Attitude Era, Vince McMahon trying to screw over the babyfaces. And if Owens and Zayn lose, there's no other way to interpret that. And this is where, WWE's, babyface dynamic is so thrown out of the whack. You've got the authority figure trying to screw over two of the boys, and you're trying to make the boys look like the heels, and it's like, no. Nobody's gonna root for these guys losing their jobs because the boss doesn't like them. That's not gonna play. And anyway, I guess I'll pick Owens and Zayn to win. I don't know where this is building. I don't really care, to be perfectly honest. I know there have been rumors that Sami Zayn might leave WWE soon, but I don't think it'll come here. I don't know, but I don't even know how strong the rumors are. I'm not even going to worry about it, to be perfectly honest. Next up, we have a four-way match for the tag team titles. This actually looks good. The Usos versus the New Day versus Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin versus Rusev and Aiden English. When the fuck? Rusev and Aiden English? How long have they been a team? Holy shit! I need to start watching SmackDown again. There's a lot of weird shit going on over there. Yeah, I guess the Usos win here. I don't see any reason to take the belts off them in a four-way that seems pretty random and thrown together. Personally, I would just like to see, even though they had a Hell in a Cell match, I'm like, fuck it, why not just do Usos versus New Day again? I mean, their matches seem to be really good, and they've spaced about moderately well, but whatever. Charlotte Flair defending the SmackDown Women's title in a lumberjack match. I mean, at this point with the women's title, we're just kind of on a watch to see when Carmella's going to cash in the Money in the Bank. And since, even though I haven't been watching the show, since I have not seen that headline that she has cashed in her Money in the Bank yet, I'm going to assume she hasn't done it yet. So I don't know if it'll happen here, but really, every women's title match, we're just kind of waiting for the shot cash in, and there's nothing else to say other than that. Then a three-way for the United States Championship. We've got Baron Corbin versus Bobby Roode, who's a babyface for some reason, versus Dolph Ziggler, who... Is he leaving WWE? I keep hearing he's done, but whatever. This is a very whatever type of match. And I like Bobby Roode, I like Dolph, and Corbin can be okay in the right situation. I just don't... I have no investment here. There's just nothing for me to care about. And then we have the main event. AJ Styles defending the WWE World Championship against Jinder Mahal. All I'm going to say about this match is that if Jinder Mahal wins the belt back, WWE, go fuck yourself. That's all I have to say about that. It's just, there is no reason to put the belt back on him. The experiment was a failure. He didn't help the India tour. India tour, it was supposed to be, my understanding, it was supposed to be 2 shows. And they ended up having to merge them into one show because the ticket sales weren't that strong. So obviously the Jinder Mahal experiment did not work. It didn't work in the way that they were intending for it to work, and that was the whole justification for it, was that he was supposed to get Matt over in India. That didn't happen, and now we just have this really pointless and terrible title reign to remember it all by. That basically killed my interest in SmackDown. I can't speak for everybody, but it was one of those things where I'm like, click, I'm done. I mean, Battleground killed it for me. I mean, that's kind of how it all happened, but yeah, this card looks awful. This card looks just bland as shit and terrible. And I didn't talk about it with the women's match, but yeah, a lumberjack match. I've made it clear before that I do not like lumberjack matches all that much, mainly because you got heels and faces surrounding the ring. I know the heels are going to favor the heel and the faces are going to favor the face, even though character-wise on an individual level, there's no reason for the heels to even give a shit about the match. Unless they explain it like Natalya pays them all off or something. But whatever. I'm just yelling at a windmill at this point. So yeah, not interested in Clash of Champions, but I am going to watch it this Sunday just for shits and giggles, and I'll probably have a review up Sunday night right after the show. That's the plan. We'll see if that works, and hopefully I can get Final Battle in there as well. I'm not going to be able to watch Final Battle on Friday night because I'm actually going to be going to see the Last Jedi, so hopefully I get around to seeing Final Battle sometime this weekend, and I'll be able to add that to the review for Clash of Champions. But yeah, Final Battle, Ring of Honor's big show. This is typically their big closing event, Final Battle. They typically have WrestleMania-style build-ups or Starrcade-style build-ups. I mean, WrestleMania at this point is just, what are the part-timers doing? What celebrities can we get? All right, and that's WrestleMania build-up for, well, you know, I'm being mean, like the Jericho Owen stuff. But yeah, Jericho's part-timer, so it's here. Final Battle, I typically expect to be at least a pretty good show from Ring of Honor. They typically go all out here, and I'm looking at this card, and it's kind of like, it's not a bad card, but I'm like, really? This is your big end-of-the-year card? All right. I mean, again, it's not terrible, but really? This is your card? And really, the real weakness is the main event, which I'll get into that. I'll save that for last. But we got 8 matches on the card. The Hung Bucks, Adam Page and the Young Bucks versus Dragon Lee, Flip Gordon, and Titan in a match for the Ring of Honor World 6-Man Tag Team Championship. It'll be like a flippy-floppy, action-packed spot fest with the dog pile spot and all of that. That's pretty much what I'm expecting out of this. Yeah, that's it. That's all there is to say there. Then for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship, we got the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, taking on the Best Friends, Beretta and Chucky T. Could be okay. I hear that match, and it doesn't really excite me all that much. It's just kind of like, oh, all right. I mean, Beretta and Chucky T, they're not terrible, but they don't excite me either. So that's kind of a weak sauce tag title match. Then we got, like, this match right here, which looks interesting. Matt Taven versus Will Ospreay. I think that could be a nice sleeper hit to kind of fill out the card. A Mr. Perfect versus Blue Blazer type of match, if you will. Just one that's, like, doesn't have a lot of build-up, but it'll showcase a guy that has a huge upside, and we'll get a nice match out of it. So I think that match will be fine. Ospreay will probably go over if I had to guess. And I haven't made predictions for the 2 tag matches. That tells you how much I care. I'll pick Hung Bucks and Machine Guns to retain. Then in another tag team match, we've got the Addiction versus War Machine. Chris Daniels and Frankie Kazarian taking on Hanson and Raymond Rowe. I think this could be good. I like this more than the tag title match. Yeah, I like both teams. War Machine is great. I haven't sung their praises enough, but I really like them as a team. They're a nice, good, old-fashioned bruiser-style tag team, and they do, like, the occasional flying moves, too. So they're a lot of fun to watch, and I like them. So I'll pick War Machine to go over here just because I like them more. But that's, yeah, they could go either way, and I think they'd be fine. I think this match could be pretty good. Jay Lethal versus Marty Scurll. I love Marty Scurll. I have made this point many, many times. Any motherfucker that calls himself the villain is A-okay by my book. So I love Marty Scurll. And, yeah, I think Jay Lethal is one of those guys that works well with just about anybody. So I expect this to be one of the better matches on the show, maybe even the match of the night. So I'll pick Jay Lethal to go over just because he's Ring of Honor's guy, and I feel like he's been losing a lot lately. So, yeah, I'll pick him to go over. Then in a 4-way for the Ring of Honor television title, we've got Kenny King defending against Punishment Martinez. I keep wanting to call him Punisher Martinez, but it's Punishment Martinez. Punishment Martinez, Shane Taylor, and Silas Young. This feels like a random-ass 4-way. I don't really know of any other way to describe it. I like Silas Young. I like Punishment Martinez. Those would probably be my 2 picks to win the belt. If it were up to me, it would be down to those 2. Nothing against Shane Taylor or Kenny King. I think Punishment Martinez is a great, like, athletic big guy type. And Silas Young, I think, is a great old school character, and I typically like whatever he does. So I'd like to see either one of those 2 get the belt. But other than that, this match just kind of feels like something that's thrown onto the card. It's not like the 4-way for the junior heavyweight title at Wrestle Kingdom where all 4 guys feel like, yeah, these are the 4 top guys in the division. This looks like something that they just kind of, oh, we've got a bunch of random guys who are over, and we want to use them, but we don't really know what to do with them, so fuck it, we'll just put them in the title match. But the match could be, I mean, it'll be fine, but I just don't, there's not, like, that huge, like, storyline or huge thing going into it that's got me going, yeah, that'll be good. One that does have a storyline, Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer taking on the Briscoes, building off of the attack on Bully Ray from a couple months ago, which everybody said had caused Bully Ray to retire. Guess not. Again, I like the feud going into this. I like the setup. I like the turn against Bully Ray. This does feel like kind of a Legends match with, like, the Legends kind of working with the young guys. I mean, the Briscoes have been around forever. I mean, I would hardly consider them young guys at this point. But, yeah, I think the crowd will be super invested into this, and it'll probably be fun to watch. But I also expect it to be kind of just a Legends match. I'm not expecting too much out of this, but I would pick the Briscoes to go over. Just, keep the current guys going over the older guys, put over the present, make those guys strong. But anyway, and then we got the main event, which is perplexing to me. That they would plan for this to be their last world title match, major event, world title main event of the year. Cody defending the Ring of Honor World title against Dalton Castle. Now, I don't have a problem with Dalton Castle. I really don't. I like him. I just don't... I don't view him as a main eventer, and I just don't see him as a world champion type. And that's not a bad thing. Not everybody can be world champion, and I just have a hard time envisioning Dalton Castle being that guy. And it was sort of confirmed for me when he had his match with Christopher Daniels for the title earlier this year. And they really failed to deliver. They weren't even given the main event spot, and with good reason. I mean, they had Bucks versus Hardys to close, which, yes, that main events. But I just don't see it in Dalton. I just don't, like, if Cody loses to him here, that would just be like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, really? You're gonna take the belt off one of the hottest guys in wrestling right now and give it to Dalton Castle, who's kind of a very colorful act, but nothing more than that. It would be like if CM Punk, at the height of his fame, dropped the belt to Santino Marella. Or is it, yes, Santino's over, and yes, Santino can be entertaining, but you don't have the world champion drop the belt to him. That just no. I mean, no, you don't do that. So I'm going into that match with very low expectations. Cody better retain, because I can't, unless they cook up something huge, I just don't see Dalton Castle walking out with the belt. But that's just me. So, yeah, a couple of interesting wrestling shows happening this weekend, but we also have a big movie coming out this weekend, or this week, rather, in just a couple days. The Last Jedi, Star Wars Episode 8, and since I have dedicated a huge portion of my channel to Star Wars and to express my fandom of Star Wars, I think I might as well preview the big movie before I see it. As I mentioned at the start of the video, they've already had the premiere. Please, if anybody hears anything, do not spoil anything for me, because I like to go into these movies, not just Star Wars, but any movie, I like to go in completely spoiler-free. That goes with any of the Marvel movies, fucking Wonder Woman, the Godzilla movies. Like, I want to be completely spoiler-free. I don't want to have anything ruined for me, because it just enhances the experience more if I don't know what's going to happen. War for the Planet of the Apes. Another great example. Logan, another great example. It works better when I don't know what's going to happen. Hell, fucking Coco, I went into that movie knowing nothing except Pixar made it and it was set in Mexico. That was literally all I knew. And the movie made me cry. So, it's like, see, if you spoil that shit for me, I'm not going to get the same emotional attachment to it. But, so yeah, I'm begging, please, no spoilers. I may stay off Twitter and the Facebook for a few days just to make sure that that doesn't happen. But, I'm really excited for this movie, probably more so than I was The Force Awakens, mainly because of who the director is, Rian Johnson. I saw Looper, and I was like, that dude has got a vision, and I think that guy is very unique, and I want him in charge of a major IP. I'd never dreaming that he was ever going to get Star Wars. And the idea of him directing a Star Wars movie, I'm like, let's see what he does. And the early buzz is that this movie's different. Now, I don't know how accurate that is. I remember the initial Twitter buzz for Batman v Superman was very positive. And we all know how that movie turned out. But the initial buzz is like, oh yeah, this movie's different, and Rian Johnson told a story that was completely shocking and is going to turn the franchise on its ear. If that's true, that's exactly what I expect Rian Johnson to do, and good. Very, very good. That's what I want, because while I did enjoy The Force Awakens, and I did, I thought it was a good movie, I thought it was a good reintroduction for Star Wars, it was almost, it was too safe, and I think that's a complaint that a lot of people had. It was too much like A New Hope. It was like, it followed the formula beat for beat of A New Hope, to the point that it was like, I could almost predict what was going to happen as the story was progressing. I'm like, oh my god, it's just like A New Hope. Like, almost all of it. With the, as South Park put it, the member berries aspect of, it's like, oh, look, it's the Millennium Falcon, and oh, look, it's Han Solo, Chewbacca, remember the Cantina, remember the Death Star? We're going to have a new Death Star, and it's bigger! So yeah, I thought those criticisms against The Force Awakens were extremely valid. Even though the movie was well cast, well acted, and entertaining in its own right, I did feel that that was a problem with it. And I hope to God that this trilogy, this new trilogy, doesn't turn into, we're just going to do 7, 8, and 9 again and just play it safe. I don't want that. Nobody wants that. If I wanted to watch the original trilogy again, I would just watch the original trilogy. I don't need to have the same story retold to me. And that's one positive that you can say the prequels have so far over the sequel trilogy, is that, well, at least the prequels told a different story. They completely dropped the ball with it. The acting's terrible. There's too much CGI, and there's a bunch of dumb shit in there, but at least it told a different story, and it can kind of stand on its own. And with the sequel trilogy, the way the first one turned out, there's that fear that it's like, oh my god, they're just redoing the same thing. But based on the early buzz, it sounds like that's not the case with The Last Jedi, which is very good. And I'm like, Rian Johnson, man, I like that guy. I like him, and hopefully that this is a success. And the best news that I heard that really got me excited for this film was when it broke that Disney was going to let Rian Johnson direct his own Star Wars trilogy and basically let him do whatever he wants. And I heard that, and I was like, holy shit. Episode 8 must have turned out really, really well, and Lucasfilm must be really, really happy with it if they just want to go ahead and give Rian Johnson his own fucking Star Wars movies and just say, you know what, Rian? Do whatever you want. Just do whatever you want. We trust you. Because look at what Lucasfilm has done so far. We had Rogue One, which I enjoyed. I did enjoy Rogue One. It gave me exactly what I wanted, which was Dirty Dozen in space and an EU novel come to life. It gave me both of those things, and I was very happy with Rogue One. But, you know, there was some controversy behind the scenes of, you know, Lucasfilm ordering extensive reshoots, and I don't know how much of that was they weren't happy with the film, or they just wanted to make improvements, or they wanted to make little changes here and there. I don't know how severe it was, or how much work went into, quote-unquote, fixing the movie, or if it was just standard practice or whatever. But clearly, Lucasfilm does care about the quality of these films. Look at what happened with the Solo picture, where the directors got fired, and they're basically starting over from scratch with Ron Howard in the director's chair. And I I think that the Solo movie is going to be a disaster. I think it's going to suck. Because there's no way that something like that can happen and you just fix it. No matter who the director is, I think it's got train wreck written all over it. But Lucasfilm does care about the quality of these films, which is why they're trying to save the Solo film by letting Ron Howard direct it and firing their directors. So for them to just turn around and give Rian Johnson his own goddamn trilogy. Oh, another thing that happened. The guy that directed Fan Four Stick, and he had another movie, like a superhero found footage film that was, I never saw, but was highly regarded. I forget the name of it, but he was supposed to direct episode 8 or 9, I think, or maybe he was supposed to get a standalone. I'm not sure. And ultimately, Disney dropped him because they realized he was poisoned. So clearly, Lucasfilm and Disney want the Star Wars movies to be good, and they care about the quality. And their history has shown that they are willing to set the house on fire and start over again just to make sure that they get these movies right. And for Rian Johnson to just get his own fucking trilogy, just, here you go, here's the keys to the kingdom, that says a lot. And I think they were happy with how The Last Jedi turned out, and that made me very hopeful for this film. And I don't want to even begin to speculate on what's going to happen in this film. I already did a video way back when Force Awakens came out, my top 5 theories for how this film and Part 9 are going to go. And, you know, we've heard all the theories. There's nothing that I said in that video that hasn't been parroted. And I'm not even saying I came up with it. Just a lot of people are just speculating, and a lot of the same ideas are just being thrown out there. You know, is Rey Anakin Skywalker reincarnated? Is Rey the granddaughter of Emperor Palpatine? Which I think that's where they're going to go with it. I still think that she has some tie to the Empire. And she's supposed to be like the heiress of the Empire. And I think that's how this is going to play out. But, you know, is Snoke Darth Plagueis or Mace Windu or Jar Jar Binks or whatever wacky theory that's going on there? Is he even anybody at all? Is he just a guy that's new to the story? We don't know. I mean, the Emperor was just a guy. He was the Emperor. There was nothing more to him than that, so why can't Snoke be the same thing? I don't know. I even had the theory, I think the trailer kind of disproved it, but I even had the theory, what if Snoke is like an Imperial officer, like I don't want to like say Grand Admiral Thrawn, but somebody like that, who realized it's like, look, we need like a strong Dark Force figurehead to kind of lead this new empire. So they're doing like a Wizard of Oz thing where really Snoke has no force powers at all. He's just a fraud, but he's like sweet-talked Kylo Ren, and he's trying to sweet-talk Rey to joining the dark side when he himself has absolutely no force powers at all. But the trailer seemed to show him using dark force powers on Rey, so, you know, I feel like that theory's been thrown out the window. And although I kind of, I don't know, it was one of the reasons, and I don't want to give spoilers for movies in case you haven't seen it, but like Wonder Woman and Civil War, Marvel Civil War, kind of had the same thing going for them. And one movie did it in a way where I really liked it. The other one kind of was like, it's okay. It didn't ruin the movie necessarily, but it was like, I wish you hadn't done that. I had gone this other route with it. But in any case, I hope I enjoy The Last Jedi. It'll just be great to see Mark Hamill again. Just hearing his voice in the trailers, I was like, yeah, Mark Hamill's back. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? And he is almost like a completely different character now because he's this jaded, old, broken down man, and I just love that. I think that's great. So I'm definitely looking forward to Mickey Goldmill, Luke Skywalker is the trainer for the new generation. So, yeah, and hopefully Captain Phasma gets to do a little bit more this time around than she did in the last film, because I was like, you went to all the trouble of casting Brienne of Tarth, and you had her do absolutely nothing. That is such a waste. And a huge because it's not like Boba Fett. Boba Fett, who just kind of got over by accident. Phasma was all over the marketing for Force Awakens, and then in the movie she does absolutely nothing and gets bitched out. It's like, what was the point of having her plastered all over everything if you weren't going to do anything with her? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm very excited for this film. I think it's going to turn out really well, mainly because, in Rian I trust. I like to have my good faith in people rewarded, and I was really happy when I heard he got the directorial job. And it sounds like we're getting the movie I wanted out of it. But again, we'll see as the reviews start pouring in. But that is all I have for now. Again, don't spoil anything for me or I will be seriously upset. But next time I see you, Well, the next video I do is going to be my Wrestle Kingdom review. I'm going to try and get that out either tomorrow night or Wednesday. I will say right now that this review will include reviews of Wrestle Kingdom 7 and 8 and a preview for Wrestle Kingdom 12, which just got a huge shot in the arm with... not that it needed it. I mean, the show's been built up very well anyway, but Jericho attacked Kenny Omega at the World Tag League finale, and I was like, holy shit, man. Like... January 4th cannot get here fast enough. So much stuff to look forward to. And we still got Christmas to look forward to. There's a lot of good stuff going on in December. I really like it. So, but yeah, my video will include a preview for Wrestle Kingdom 12 and reviews for 7 and 8. I will give away a spoiler right now. Having watched Wrestle Kingdom 7 and 8, I will tell you all right now, I absolutely loved both shows. And I can't wait to talk about them in tomorrow's video. So be on the lookout for that. But, the next time I see you after the Wrestle Kingdom video will probably be my review of The Last Jedi. So, yeah, a bunch of stuff lined up. And then again after that, I'll have a reaction video Sunday night to Clash of Champions. Maybe Final Battle if I had time to watch it. So, you're going to get sick of seeing me by the end of the week. Again, if my schedule goes right and everything goes according to plan, I'm able to get everything out there. But... that is all I have for you now. Stay tuned for more. It's going to be a busy week for me, but until then, later, everybody.